What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. For the third straight episode, it is just me and one other person. Well, I'm just here with Geek. At the current moment, Miller is not going to make it tonight, doing some personal stuff. But we are talking about the NBA playoffs, talking about the conference finals, talking about our predictions for that. We got a game going on right now, so we'll kind of give some live updates for that. And then we're going to move into talking about the NFC West, continuing grading every NFC team's offseason. Then obviously we'll move into the AFC eventually. But before we get into all of that, Geek, how you doing, man?
I'm really annoyed. Post office is an annoying place. So, no New Jersey for tonight, which is big sad, even though they're here. I'm mad. I'm mad
Finally
about
got
this.
mine back, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good.
Also,
yeah,
we were all here last week. Miller was just late.
this is true.
We were all there.
But I'm talking about for intro purposes.
Oh, true.
I'm just here with blank. But yeah, like I said, the NBA playoffs. Talking about a team that's not in the playoffs anymore, but there was some news out of Philadelphia. What's up?
How are you doing, you goober?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good myself.
This
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I appreciate the ask. But yeah, the NBA playoffs, somebody who's probably not doing good right now is Doc Rivers, because this morning he was fired from the Philadelphia 76ers after yet another Game 7 collapse from him. So just quickly talking about this. Geek, do you have any major strong thoughts on the Doc Rivers firing?
See, I don't know if we should be yelling at Doc so much. Another Game 7 collapse. Is it really his fault that Joel Embiid is the biggest playoff shrinker of our generation? Like, it's incredible how bad Joel Embiid is when the playoffs come around. Like, Harden had multiple 40-point games in the series. He's the only reason it got to 7 games. Like, yeah, he was bad in Game 7, but he gets a pass. He's old, and he's the only reason they are where they are. Like, that's it. Embiid did nothing the entire series and then stunk it up in a Game 7. How do you let 97-year-old Al Horford just fucking clamp you when you're the MVP? It's just so bad. But
yeah,
the move makes sense for Philly. It was time to try something new again.
And listen, like that, it's the same situation with like Mike Budenholzer, where like you have to blame somebody, right? Like 2019, Kawhi hit that crazy shot. Nobody's fault. Kawhi is just an absolute monster, right? Last year, I mean, obviously there was the Ben Simmons year with the Hawks where they got beat and they shouldn't have gotten beat by them. And then obviously now this year losing in 7 to the Celtics, which, by the way, Celtics are the best team in basketball. So I don't know. I think you can definitely upgrade from Doc Rivers, you know? And, like, the question, like, I'm more upset about the Monty Williams firing than I am about this one because Monty Williams is definitely harder to replace than Doc Rivers is. You know, they're going to go after Budenholzer, they're going to have to Nick Nurse, they're going to go after a bunch of different guys, Mike Vogel, and they're going to get a guy who probably is a better coach than Doc Rivers because Doc Rivers, as much as he might be the scapegoat, also isn't that great of a coach anymore, right? And so, yeah, I'm okay with this firing. I think it was time for them to move on. And again, you got to blame somebody. Harden has a player option. Who knows if he'll be back? And B, there's already trade talks. Don't think that'll happen. But I think it's official to say that the process is definitely starting to fizzle out a little bit because they haven't gotten past second round since Embiid said that. So I think it's time to call the process
if I'm Philly,
at least declining.
I want to move on from Embiid. Let's just blow it up. Let's start over.
I mean, to be fair,
this is not working.
His value is peak right now.
Yeah.
So if they really want to blow it up, then trading Embiid is the first step, and they will get a ton for him.
I don't know where they send him, but
went for 3 firsts. I can only imagine what a team would do to get Joel Embiid. A team in need of a big. I mean, that's
if you're
crazy.
Not in need of a big, like. It depends on who your center is. If you're the Nuggets, imagine the Nuggets doing some shit.
The Nuggets, or like, I think the Knicks would be crazy if he goes to the Knicks.
I just don't know if it's gonna be an East team. I don't know if they would.
They probably wouldn't want to deal him in
because him going to Atlanta would be so fire. That'd be
I could
so
see the
good.
Warriors if they want a serious center, if they try and make one more
God.
run with this core. I could see the Lakers if they want to keep AD at the 4. I could see a ton of those West teams just wanting to mess around with Joel Embiid. So even if you jump to the West, if you can make it to the finals, you're probably playing him.
Yeah,
so it's a lose-lose situation either way.
It's gonna be incredible. Now I want Embiid on the Lakers because oh my God.
Yeah, that would be crazy. And they have the assets to do it, which is the scariest part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Doc Rivers,
Well, and it makes sense for the Lakers because Braun's probably gone after a year because he's going to wherever Bronny goes.
Yeah.
So your core moving forward being Embiid and AD is
Anthony Davis. Yeah, Anthony Davis isn't like on the younger side, but he's got a few good years.
He's
up
still
to
only 30.
Yeah.
Is he even 30?
Yeah, he's definitely 30. I think he is 30.
Just turned 30 a month ago.
Yeah. Right. So him and Embiid, that would be sick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Speaking of the Lakers, they could really use Joel Embiid right now because they are currently getting beat by 14 by the Nuggets.
Not even much.
The lead has been as far as 20 in the second half. I don't know, man. The Nuggets, I guess moving into talking about the conference finals, I think the Nuggets are just that good. Like, Jokic is just that good. Like, we talked about this last episode about, like, how it was looking like this was going to be the series. Wasn't official yet, but now it is. Who's going to guard LeBron and who's going to guard AD and all this. I'm not watching the game, but whatever they're doing, it's working.
I mean,
so I don't know who's guarding who.
Is it? So here's I get they're down 14. I'm sorry, that's not a lot. That's not a big lead. But AD's got 31 in 31 minutes.
And they're still losing by 14.
Yeah, because
so clearly
Braun
whatever the Nuggets are doing outside of him.
Braun's just chilling.
They're doing the whole let one guy go off thing, which is what they had to do. Coming to the series, they would be comfortable doing the let Anthony Davis go off as long as LeBron isn't doing it as well. But as long as Austin Reeves isn't dropping 20 on our heads.
Which, yeah. It's one of those things. I think I hope this game finishes while we're recording so we can talk about the ending. We'll see.
Maybe.
The third quarter just ended, so we're moving into the fourth right now. I hope we get to see how this finishes.
I'm sure we will.
Because I want to do the, I'm sorry. Yeah, 16's a lot. I'm not going to sleep on the GOAT in the fourth quarter, though. I'm just not.
No, I'm just trying to give the Nuggets credit where credit is due.
I think the Nuggets got so disrespected all year. I'm glad they got to this point. So
it's because people just assumed, and they do this with a bunch of different teams suffer from this. They do like one thing 2 years in a row, and everyone's just immediately titles them as that going into the next year. Like, the Nuggets are the 1 seed team who actually isn't that good and gets beat in like the second or third round by like the Warriors or somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. That happened last year. The Warriors beat them last year. They were the 1 seed last year, I think. Also,
I think so. Yeah.
I want to say they got beat last year. And like, obviously this year, like the entire regular season, like they were not that great defensively. Like, Jokic is a straight up liability on defense, but it's been like the efforts of Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. is okay on defense, and Jamal Murray is okay on defense.
KCP is your true guard cover guy. Right.
And it's just like people were saying coming to the playoffs, like if they win the finals, this is the worst defensive team to ever win the finals, which is probably true because they're still not great on defense. But, I think that they were disrespected all year. I kind of had them as a sleeper finals pick all year. So I'm very happy to see how this is playing out. Either way, I would deem this season a success for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Finals, let's go. What
do you
make your face for?
My brain broke. The Nuggets have only had 6 players score a point.
Yeah, Jokic and Murray
everyone outside of Aaron Gordon is double digits. Jeff Green and Christian Braun are the only other 2 guys to get minutes. I think that bites them in the ass in this series. They don't have the bodies.
No,
they're 1 injury away from not being able to score 90 points in a game.
They're inconsistently deep. They are deep, but like their depth guys are not consistent guys.
Yeah, their depth guys are Thomas Bryant and Reggie Jackson and Ish Smith and DeAndre
Jordan. Or all guys who, like, if they get minutes, maybe can score you a bucket.
Maybe.
But again, it's like it was the same issue against Phoenix, right? And Phoenix is a really good offense, and Phoenix
doesn't have any depth either. That's right. The thing. The Lakers have actual depth. Like actual depth. Which I think is the big thing.
Scored a point in this game.
Well, fair. But they also just have Jared Vanderbilt has had 9 minutes. And yeah, he didn't score in that.
Sucks.
But Scottie Pippen Jr.'s out here. LeBron's got to win a ring with Scottie too, I guess. That's how that goes.
I guess, yeah. Mo Bamba's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Mo Bamba, Malik Beasley.
Tristan Thompson is on the
I
Lakers.
love that
I didn't even know that.
Thompson's just out there, man. I love that.
He is, yeah.
I would love to see Tristan just randomly pop up and just fucking guard Jokic for like 5 minutes.
What if he's the Jokic stopper and they wouldn't even know?
Dude, imagine he gets a couple minutes later and just puts him in Alcatraz. That would be the most hilarious development of all time.
It truly would be. Yeah.
I'm so here for it, though. Also, why is D'Lo so inconsistent? I mean, it's okay if the Lakers somehow win this. That means tomorrow, or game 2, we're getting 60 from D'Lo because that's just what he do. He'll give you less than 10, and then the next night he's going for 40 because he's D'Lo, I guess. It's so wild. The Lakers are a weird team because they rely on streaky players, but they have enough streaky players that somebody gets hot every time. Mm-hmm. Rui Hachimura has 15 points tonight. Why?
Because Rui Hachimura is not that bad, and that was a good trade.
But yes, like the last game he played in, he had 28 minutes and 1 point. Like,
yeah.
Why is Rui scoring now? Because like he's great defensively. It's the same with Jared Vanderbilt. You're gonna have him in the lineup anyways, because they're really good at this one thing. So whether the offense is there or not, you can live with it. Because they're so good at that other thing you're asking of them. I don't know. I'm just rooting for the Lakers just cause.
Sure.
But I mean, Jokic would be cool. Honestly, like.
Yeah, it'd be a cool ring. I would like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for the GOAT, especially when my team's not around.
Yeah. But if we're gonna lock in official predictions, my prediction has and will continue to be Nuggets in 7. I think this will be a close series. I think the Nuggets will just barely edge them out.
Give me Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6, okay.
That seems to be the theme of the playoffs.
I'm assuming that we will hopefully see the end of this game and maybe a little bit down at the back half of this episode to talk about some NFL stuff. But at the other conference finals set, the Heat and the Celtics tip off tomorrow. This, a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. Was it Eastern Conference Finals? It was Eastern Conference Finals last year. Yeah. And a rematch of the bubble Eastern Conference Finals. The third time in
it's all the bubble,
5 years.
It's just a rematch of the bubble.
Yeah, third time in the last 5 years that these two teams have met in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Celtics have won both times. No, the Heat won the other times they put the Lakers. It's 1-1 right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Heat. Yeah, I got there. I think the Celtics will win this in 5 or 6.
I don't think the Celtics are a good team.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Dude, you're too reliant on Jason Tatum, who can't figure out if he's any good on a quarter-to-quarter basis. I'm sorry. We watched Jason Tatum the other night go 8 minutes into the third quarter without being able to find the fucking bucket. I've never seen a superstar do that. Never.
Talking about game 7?
Yeah, and then he explodes in the end. That's what I mean. He's the most inconsistent star in these playoffs. You cannot trust him. Jaylen Brown is iffy. And if those two have an off night, you have no scoring on that team outside of those two. So you're screwed. Though, same issue can be had with the Heat. Without Tyler Hero, their scoring is Butler and Bam. But they are Bam, more consistent.
You want to talk about inconsistent superstars? Bam
I don't put Bam on the same level as Jaylen Brown.
I know, but you want to talk about inconsistency from one of your stars on your team? Bam Adebayo is the definition of that when it comes to the playoffs every single year. I don't think the dude has had a consistently good playoff run in his career. Like, I love Bam. I think he's a super cool player. I think he's a cool dude. But, like, if he's not scoring, Jimmy Butler has to score 50. Like, Jimmy Butler's point minimum is just based on how well Bam's scoring, essentially.
Yeah.
And usually Hero balances that out, but without Hero, it's just like Bam has to score a certain amount and Jimmy has to score a certain amount. And it's like they don't have a lot of depth. They have a bunch of undrafted guys kind of going crazy,
and a bunch of just old dudes. Cody Zeller and Kevin Love are getting minutes on this team.
Kevin Love, like Max Strus and Duncan Robinson, and
Kyle Lowry. Okay, by the way, what happened to Duncan Robinson? He was so good. Now he suck.
Well, Spoelstra. Last year there was a weird thing. Like Spoelstra just was not giving him minutes. And he was okay in the minutes he played in the playoffs last year. And I remember NBA fans having a lot of discourse about why Spoelstra just hated him. And this year, I think he's just kind of been mid.
Right, but I don't get
last
it. He's
year,
one of
he
the
was
best
getting
three-point shooters we've ever seen.
Reason.
What happened?
And it's not like the Heat are good at that.
No,
outside of him.
Duncan Robinson would be great to have around. I don't know. Did he sleep with Spoelstra's daughter or something? I legitimately
have no idea why Spoelstra has
a
grudge against him. It's I don't know where it came from, but Duncan Robinson, I mean, he's cool, but he's a 3-point shooter, and that's basically it. You know, if you need a guy to just go and get you, if you're down by a lot and you want to cut the lead down, you put in Duncan Robinson and you give him the ball and you get him good shot looks. That's the Heat strategy. But in reality, I don't think their offense is consistently good enough to penetrate the Celtics defense. Because all you want about Tatum and his offense.
Oh, his defense is still incredible.
Tatum in his offense or Brown in his offense, but defensively, the Celtics team is still by far the best team left in the playoffs. The Lakers are very, very good defensively too. Those two teams are that would be a really, really cool finals to watch if it was those two, right? Because of how good they are they both are defensively. It's just, like I said, I don't think the Heat's offense is consistently good enough to get 4 games off of the Celtics defense. I would be shocked. I mean, I want them to. I hate the Celtics with a passion. I am cheering for the Heat, but if I had to pick, I'm taking Celtics in 5 or 6 just because, again, they are so good defensively. Here's the other thing that plays a big factor. Spoelstra is miles ahead of Joe Mazzulla as a head coach, and that could end up hurting them. That could.
Jimmy Butler is just a fucking freak.
He is.
I don't know.
He almost did it last year.
We've seen him do it to him before too.
I don't know what he would have done.
And we saw him do it in 2020. And I know everybody wants to say, well, the bubble. Well, the bubble's running it back again. So obviously the bubble wasn't wrong. I love the people. Well, this Lakers team is so different. No, it's not. Not really. It's built the exact same way. It's built on defense and LeBron and AD. That's it. Mm-hmm. The Miami Heat, they're built on Jimmy Butler. It's the teams, while the names on some jerseys may be different, the cores of the teams are the exact same. This is just a bubble rematch. It's not, it's the same logos, but it's the same teams. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Agreed.
KCP isn't playing for the Lakers, but their other guards are it's all the same. Austin Reeves is their Alex Caruso this time. It's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's
white
weird.
Role player who kind of scores a lot. Yeah.
Came out of nowhere, suddenly awesome. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I was looking at an update about Tyler Hero. Wasn't great.
I swear he was supposed to play.
Not
he was supposed
this
to play
game.
At
least
I feel like he'll be back.
He's going to be, but he I don't know, it's a hand injury, so it still sucks.
If Tyler Hero games 2 through whatever, maybe they have a good shot.
If they get Hero back, it's suddenly a problem.
You have to wonder how many minutes they're going to play Hero if he comes back, and you have to wonder if Hero's going to be the same guy coming off of a hand injury as a basketball player, getting thrust into Eastern Conference Finals action right away.
That's valid. Prove you live for the moment. Prove your name correct.
But Spoelstra, being the coach he is, would probably play him a lot of minutes, just a matter of whether or not he's actually the same guy yet. It would probably take him a while to heat up.
It might. Or maybe he just pops in and is great.
They kind of just need his presence. He adds a certain energy to the court that they need.
Yeah.
He's a big part of the Heat culture thing.
Absolutely. I'm excited for both of these series. I think they're both going to be
they're
going to
both going to be I would rather both go to a tight game 7, and that's what I love about them. It's like last year, we knew the Heat and Celtics were going to be good, but like the Warriors and the Mavericks, that series wasn't really close. I think it was like 4-1 or 4-2 at the end of it. But this time, like both of them, I'm just like, man, this is going to be sick, But yeah, if we're locking in official predictions for this one, I'm going to go Celtics in 6.
I'm taking my boy. Give me Jimmy in 7. It's not even the Heat. Give me Jimmy in 7.
Give me Jimmy Butler in 7. Yeah, essentially. But yeah, that's pretty much going to put a cap on our NBA talk. Except for when we inevitably go back to the Lakers and Nuggets series after they wrap up this game 1. Unless you have any other NBA points to talk about.
So let me see if I can find this thing I just saw that terrifies me. I didn't get to actually fully read it, but apparently Karl Anthony Towns is now involved in a bunch of trade rumors.
They should move off of him. I'm pretty confident in that. I think so.
If you're moving anybody,
I think they need to get assets after what they did for Gobert, and he's their best chance at assets. Unless you want to trade Anthony Edwards.
You just keep running it with Rudy Gobert?
I can't.
Yeah, no,
you're not going to get anything.
Having him on the court's a problem.
You really want to get like a 2nd-round pick for Rudy Gobert instead of getting 3 firsts for Cat from the Knicks.
You take his money, we'll take a 2nd-round pick. Cool. I'm not getting rid of Cat. I'm sorry. We saw in the playoffs as soon as Cat actually was able to play, because he didn't play the first couple of games, he's a difference maker offensively, and we need that. Because outside of Anthony Edwards, we can't score. It's tough. We're not going to get assets out of Rudy, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But we got to do something different, and maybe freeing up the money.
Yeah.
Is going to be part of it. Maybe we work it. Unless the Cat deal is turning into Joel Embiid, then I'm good. And, maybe to make money work or whatever, you got to do Cat and Rudy. Or you work out a 3-team trade where somebody else takes Rudy and Cat goes to Philly, Joel goes to Minnesota, Rudy goes to fucking Atlanta maybe, because Rudy can fill the Clint Capella role, but more consistently. His defense is better. He's still better in the lob game than Clint has ever been. And then you work out the other parts of that anywhere. Anthony Edwards and Joel Embiid could be cool. I don't know if I want a center who's more injury prone than Cat is, though.
Fair. Yeah.
Which is
that'll be an interesting discourse this offseason. See what happens with Cat.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think that's the best guy to get rid of.
Nah, probably not.
But God, does the Timberwolves roster suck?
It does, yeah.
And I
true.
don't get why Mike Conley was a guy we decided to go get at the deadline.
Veteran presence is literally it.
But I don't know. I would have rather just had D'Lo, who's got
True.
like as much playoff experience.
True.
Like,
yeah.
And when needed, can have a game like we've seen him do for the Lakers. Can just have a 40-point day. Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if keeping D'Lo would have fixed whatever happened in Minnesota this year, though.
No, nothing would have. But like, I'd rather have the young guy than the old guy.
Yeah.
Because I think D'Lo's 27.
Yeah.
I'm double checking. D'Angelo. I typed in D'Lo and that didn't work. Yeah, I typed in D'Lo and it took me to some company. Yeah, so 27. I would have rather had the 27-year-old than the 36-year-old. Thanks.
35, but yes.
The fact that I guessed and was that close is terrifying.
It is, yeah. But yeah, Miller actually kind of pulled a fast one on us because he originally said the West, but then immediately was like, wait, no, the South, because of, I forget his reasoning, but we're doing the NFC South today for off-season draft grades and free agent grades. If you were really set on us doing the West and you were excited about that, take all of your complaints to @MillerFootball_ on Twitter. And
man, I wanted to talk about how bad the Cardinals are. Damn.
Yeah, we'll talk about that with Miller. Hopefully next week, if he actually shows his sorry butt here. Sorry, Miller. I don't know what you're doing tonight, but
no, it's not. See, the thing is with Miller, we had this whole talk about how serious you all were gonna take this, and he hasn't showed up since that talk. We had the talk on the show about how Run the North was going to be like the big thing all of us were pushing, and then he hasn't showed up since we talked about that like 3 months ago. He just doesn't show up anymore. Uh-oh. Are you there? It might be. I don't know. Are we there?
I have not. I think we're there now.
Miller doesn't show up after saying we wanted Run the North was going to be the big focus. Miller hasn't shown up since we had that conversation.
Yes, he definitely has.
No.
That conversation was a long time ago.
Let me cook.
That conversation was a long time ago.
And he's late to every fucking recording.
Hey, man.
Makes us reschedule because he's a goober. It's not that hard.
I'm here. So
all
that's
right,
all you need.
I'm here. To be fair, I guess I have missed one episode ever of all time.
Yeah, this is true.
And that's just because you both had to go to bed kind of early that night, so you just went on. Which is valid. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, like, it wasn't no matter what time we start, I won't be there. Just go on without me. It was oh, well, I'm running late. If you guys need to go, do it. I'll try to get home, and if I get home, I'll hop in. Then you guys were done by the time I hopped in, and it was whatever. But
yeah,
I at least tried.
We tried, yeah.
I gave it the old college try.
Yeah, but after a few minutes of berating Miller for not being here, like I said, we are talking about the NFC South. We'll start with the Panthers. That's cool with you.
Sure.
We'll start with talking about their free agency class a little bit. Just talking about the big ones for each team, not going through these nitpicky little signings. Starting off with Von Bell. It's obviously signed from Cincinnati. This is a good signing for them. They needed a safety. It was just kind of the question about whether or not they were going to address it in the draft or not. They ended up not doing that. They ended up getting Von Bell. I think Von Bell's pretty good. I think this is a good move for them. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I think that it won't matter. Von Bell's such a weird signing for them because I don't know what he really does different than Jeremy Chin. Unless you're just entirely trying to move Chin away from safety, but even then, Von Bell is just other Jeremy Chin. Like, if you were going to pay one of those Bengals safeties, you should have went for Jesse Bates. Like, he fits more of what you need. I don't know.
Right.
That's a weird signing to me. You just have two Jeremy Chins now, and I don't know what the point
Jeremy Chin
is.
is slightly better Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. DJ Chark is another interesting one. Another need, kind of fill the need a receiver. I'm a big DJ Chark fan.
I like DJ Chark.
Not in the sense that I think he's a wide receiver one in the NFL, but like they had needed a wide receiver. Chark was pretty productive for the Lions when he was on the field. I think this is a good signing. We'll talk about the other receiver signing next.
And we talked. Did we talk? Yeah, we talked about this a little when we talked about the Lions last week. DJ Chark was their ex, and that's what he's going to be here. Sure, he's not the best wide receiver on a team. He probably shouldn't be, and I don't think he is on this Panthers team. But he gets to play the role of the ex because he has the ability to do so. And he's going to do it pretty well, and that's a good target to have for Bryce Young or Andy Dalton if that's who ends up starting, because they have said that is possible, which I think is okay. Andy Dalton, not terrible. And I know you don't love it, but whatever. I thought you said you didn't like that. I thought that's what you just said. Whatever.
Didn't like what? I said I don't hate that.
Oh, my bad. My brain went to don't like that, which is fair. But, I don't know. Sitting a rookie is never a bad thing. Mahomes, and if it's a quarterback that makes sense, you're not sitting Anthony Richardson behind Gardner Minshew. It won't happen. Gardner's not good enough. He doesn't have a veteran presence enough. But Andy Dalton? Yeah, you can sit a guy behind him for a year. That's fine. This is a dude who's done it forever. Year,
but at least start throwing him out there week one.
And if it's a full year, it's a full year. If it's not, it's not.
Like it's a risky Pickett thing, where it's just like you can start until you massively screw up, and then Bryce Young's coming in.
Until we hear the fans yelling Bryce Young in the stands, you're good.
Yeah.
And if Andy Dalton plays well, you won't hear people yelling for Bryce. If he plays shitty, people yell for Bryce.
Yeah, and that's when they'll be like, all right, get him in there, see how he does. But that was one weapon that they got for Bryce Young and DJ Chark. I think we both agree that's a pretty good signing. And then they went and got another NFC North receiver, Geek's boy, Adam Thielen. I understand the idea behind getting a veteran presence in the receiver room for a very young and inexperienced one. But other than that, I am more confused by Adam Thielen's decision to go to Carolina, because he was like, I believe we can win a Super Bowl. I'm like, Adam, if they win a Super Bowl, you will not be there. It will be far after you are retired.
He's on a 3-year deal. I mean, I could see maybe the
third year maybe pushing it, but
even year 2, I could see it. That's the year Mahomes took the leap and won his. Year 2 as a starter. No, just year 2. It was year 1 as a starter. He was basically a rookie, and he went and won the Super Bowl. I mean, that's kind of what the young guys do. Goff got to one in his second year, was really good. I don't remember if he got to one in his second year. Second year, guys
got to one in his third or fourth. What that?
Third, yeah,
third, yeah.
So there's a world where Bryce Young, if he's that guy, gets you there, and they have a really incredible O-line, and maybe that one rookie receiver they drafted can be the guy.
Also, again, Thielen's probably going to get a good amount of volume.
He's going to get good volume, and because they don't have a tight end, he's the real red zone threat on that team.
And even when the Vikings had a tight end, he was still a good red zone threat.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, he's the only one there in Carolina, basically. Maybe Terrence Marshall, but if given the option, who are you throwing the ball to? The guy who's led the league in touchdowns, or the guy who's known as the red zone threat, or the guy who maybe can be. especially as a rookie. I'd rather throw it to Thielen because he's going to get it. Now, outside of the red zone, how much is he going to do? I don't know.
Probably not too much.
Wasn't much last year for a team where he wasn't the guy drawing the number one corner, where he might be in Carolina this year. Just off of name value alone, at least for a while. Until Chark or Marshall or somebody else starts going crazy, people are going to view Thielen as the one because name value and just value. They're paying him a ton. They're giving him like $12 million a year, which is just nuts. It's just wild.
Yeah, no.
Get your money, but god damn.
Yeah. Speaking of you mentioning that they don't have a tight end, let's talk about them actually signing a tight end. They signed Hayden Hurst. Let's be real. They signed Hayden Hurst. Let's be fair. Hayden Hurst is a Carolina Panther.
Cool.
He's been solid wherever he's been. Wherever he's been. Nothing more, nothing less. Right. Solid wherever he's been.
This is a team, man. They needed number ones at 3 positions this offseason, and they got one of them. It's tough. They got a quarterback, but they still need a real one in that wide receiver room. They still need a real one at tight end. Like, I don't know. It's tough. I feel bad for Panthers fans because, I don't know. The rebuild's not going to happen as fast as you'd expect.
No, probably not.
It's tough.
But the last big, more relevant signing that the Panthers made, Miles Sanders, to be their assumed running back 1 after they lost Deontay Foreman. Miles Sanders is, I don't know, maybe you can call him an offensive line merchant when he was in Philadelphia, but the Panthers also have a great offensive line. So even if you use that argument for him in Philadelphia, which I personally don't, Panthers have a great O-line too. So Miles Sanders was very good last year. Their rushing attack was very good, and he was a big part of that.
And he's been very good in the past.
And they have a good offensive line. This is a good sign. This is a good signing.
Until last year, for whatever reason, the Eagles didn't want to give him the carries. I don't know who he made angry, but they just didn't want to give him the touches. And
people were like, well, he had 0 touchdowns last year, or the year before last. And it's because how many goal line carries was he getting? How many inside the 5 carries was he getting? Probably not many. It's just Boston Scott and stuff like that. They're throwing the ball
and then
a lot.
Just Jalen Hurts. Just give him the ball. And he had 11 rushing touchdowns this year. That's wild.
On top of Jalen Hurts rushing for a ton of touchdowns and passing for a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah, Sanders, and we've talked, Sanders can be a good dual threat running back. He's good in the pass game as well. Though he hasn't shown that since 2019.
He is another weapon, though, and they just need weapons, and that's what he is.
And Sanders...
And he's not too old, I don't think.
No, he'll be 26 this year. I have his Pro Football Reference up. I'm looking at all of it right now. Because, as much as I know about him, I don't want to be messing up numbers or whatever.
Yeah, people forget, Miles Sanders has never been bad. The counting stats maybe weren't great that 1-0 touchdown year, but he was not bad that year.
But even then, he was still averaging 5.5 yards a carry and, whatever. So cool, he's not scoring touchdowns.
Miles Sanders would be a running back 1 on a lot of teams. Yeah. He would be. And so this is a good signing for them. I like it. This is probably one of their best free agency signings, if not their best.
Yeah, the contract is just a little tough for me.
They signed him too.
I got to double check it, and then I want to compare it to the man they traded away.
Who they traded away?
Mr. Christian McCaffrey, because that happened this year. So.
Oh yeah.
You're paying him. Let's see. Oh, they are not paying him as much as I thought. Never mind. Yeah, So cap hit this year's not much, but they're paying him basically $7 million a year, just a little under.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Not bad, man.
No, not
for the caliber of player you're getting. Worth it.
Yeah,
worth
especially when they had 0 people at running back besides Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Moving and talking about their draft class a little bit. Obviously, first overall pick, they took Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Great pick, right choice. And I took Bryce Young, the correct choice.
Yeah.
In most people's eyes. I mean, we've talked about Bryce Young a ton on this podcast throughout the whole draft process, but we both
Matt
like
Corral
him. And we
better.
just mentioned earlier, he's obviously the third string right now behind Corral and Dalton. About how he probably will sit, but great draft. Great pick at number 1. I don't think there's anybody else they could have gone with except for Stroud.
I mean, you mocked them, Anthony Richardson, every mock draft.
Only because
existence.
Richardson was my QB1, so I had to stick with my narratives.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bryce Young's the right pick there. Great passer, ton of upside still. He's a good rusher, smart runner. I mean, the size is definitely a concern, but he's playing behind a good offensive line, so maybe he won't take as many hits. He's also good at getting out of pressure. Like he's good at like running around. Like he's got the Kyler Murray running around like a toddler who just stole something gene. That's his gene, Like he just kind of scrambles away from people. And again, like the only concern with him really is size. Like if Bryce Young was 6 foot like 4 or 5, he'd be like touted as a generational prospect probably.
Yeah.
He was about as close to it as you can get, but I like the pick. No reason to dislike it, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Sorry, looking at the Panthers depth chart, and I'm so confused. Jeremy Chin is listed as a backup free safety behind Xavier Woods.
Oh.
And also as a corner. Jeremy Chin is a corner now.
He plays hybrid.
Oh,
he can play corner.
Okay. I don't remember ever seeing him do that.
I
guess that might be because Von Bell existed
right now.
Or didn't exist. So he was a starter. But now Von Bell's actually going to play that. Okay.
With how bad their cornerback depth is.
That answers my question from earlier, though, because he'll probably just be playing nickel just like a C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, most likely.
That's why Von Bell exists now. So, okay, that makes more sense. My brain hurt less now. Who was their next pick? Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo. I like Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
I cooled off a little bit on him as the process went on, but I like Jonathan Mingo. I think it's a good pick. There are people telling me on Twitter that he was going to be a better receiver for the Panthers than DJ Moore. I don't know about that one, but I think it's a good pick. Jonathan Mingo kind of moved me when I watched his film, so he's a guy who can develop into a good receiver for them. And again, a position group they were really bad at, and not so much anymore.
No,
Terrace Marshall with a good upside. DJ Chark's a proven X. Adam Thielen's a veteran.
They don't have a true one, but they got so many just guys because all of those guys you listed.
Did the Chiefs have a true one last year?
No, and I would say this wide receiver room is better than what the Chiefs was.
If you believe your quarterback is that guy, you don't need a true one.
That's true.
Like
you just need a lot of talent,
right?
And they have so much because they do. Laviska Shenault is on the team. Shi Smith, Damiere Byrd is their wide receiver 7.
Right. And
Dude was a starter.
This is a genuine question. This is a genuine question. Outside of quarterback, which is there's an obvious disadvantage. How many position groups are you taking the Chiefs over the Panthers in?
Ooh, I mean,
I'm taking Miles Sanders over anybody. Maybe Pacheco will end up being better. I'm taking Sanders right now. Their offensive line is better. Their defensive line is not as good. The Chiefs, that's the Chiefs. Their corners, J.C. Horn's better than anybody on the Chiefs.
Yeah, but overall, I still might argue.
Overall, I'd probably say the Chiefs. Yeah. Safeties, probably the Panthers with Von Bell being there. Because Juan Thornhill left.
Yeah.
And so I'd say
Justin Reed the GOAT.
Okay. Necessary. We don't have to break this entire thing down, but my point being, the roster as a whole,
it's fairly close. It's just coaching and quarterback are way in the Chiefs'
two
favor.
big disadvantages for the Chiefs. Right? I'm not saying that the Panthers are a better team than the Chiefs. I'm just saying that
if the quarterback's right, you're kind of good.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. So if Bryce Young works out, they're fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a pretty underrated pick. Chandler Zavala. I don't know how you felt about him in the draft process. Me and Miller were both fans of Zavala. We both have him in our top 10 interior O-line.
So I'm not mad at the player, but I don't get the pit. Like, yeah, the position makes no sense. You're already really young at guard.
Okay.
Your two starters are both
Panthers website, and it's not saying where they picked him. Where did they pick him?
Yeah, I don't see that either. Actually, I
think it was the third.
I would probably guess third or fourth round. I don't know if they had 2 third-round
picks. Anyway,
it was third or fourth, so it was a mid pick. Fourth round pick number 12. So whatever that works.
That's about where I had him going.
But like, he'll never play for them is the part that is just weird to me.
Not yet,
like,
no.
He's a backup, and at this point, he's a career backup. The Brady Christensen's 26, Austin Corbett's 27. Like, this isn't a, year 2, maybe 3, and they're gone. Nah, by the time his rookie contract is up, they're going to be up for extensions that they will actually get and play through. What was that about?
Oh, I've got the Lakers Nuggets on in the background.
Oh, I was like, are you playing Fortnite in the background?
No,
I know we talked about this.
I'm cheering for the Nuggets.
Holy fuck, it got close.
It did, yeah.
Let's go. GOAT. The GOAT be doing it.
In minute 35, we're going to have some things to talk about at the end of the show. But anyway, their final pick was Jamie Robinson, who, again, that's a good pick. That late, Jamie Robinson was like a pretty highly touted safety in this class.
Yeah.
Like he might have been the best pure safety in this class.
To be
like
fair,
Brian
this safety class sucked.
It did, yeah, it did. You're right. But still, getting him where they did is good value.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I think overall they did a pretty good draft. The free signings were pretty good. So the question becomes, if you had to grade a Geek, what are you going to give them?
It's so tough because it's so dependent on Bryce Young. It's so more than any other like free agent and draft class because of what you had to give away for him. It's so dependent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a B.
Fair.
I don't hate it, but like if Bryce Young sucks, this offseason's an F. No matter, it's an F minus.
Yeah, because they gave him so much to give him. If Bryce Young's great,
and it's A plus. So
the same thing with as of right now, nobody got fleeced in that trade. But if Bryce Young sucks, the Panthers are looking at that trade and they're like, ugh, this is a tough scene for us.
Right. Especially if he sucks and Stroud and Richardson are awesome.
Yes,
it's a
even
problem.
Then, when they had an opportunity to get either one of them, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah. So it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot.
Yeah.
What's your grade?
I'm gonna give them a B minus. B minus.
Okay.
I think we're pretty much on the same wavelength with them.
Yeah.
So moving into the Atlanta Falcons, we'll talk about them next.
Okay.
It's so hard to stay on topic right now.
Dude, I am so distracted.
It's so hard to stay on topic right now.
I'm actually trying to pull up the game.
Hold up. Jokic. Oh my gosh. He got it's a foul.
Oh, dude. LeBron. I don't know if you saw this play, and I don't know when it happened. I just saw it on Twitter. It was sometime within the last minute. LeBron with the block again, man.
Anthony Davis just swatted the garbage out of Jokic, but he fouled.
Was it a foul though, or is Jokic just getting blessed?
No, he got him on the arm.
Did he? Okay.
It was a foul.
But sorry.
It was a cool block, but it was a foul.
Sorry to those watching the show. We are way distracted with what matters more than talking about the offseason.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Of course, Jokic nails both free throws, the little fucker.
Yes.
I'm so mad because I should have been at this game.
You should have.
Dude,
you should have been at this game.
I'm sorry. Why are highest
It's
row
LeBron.
seats, $300. I don't
Because they know that people will buy them because it's LeBron.
$50 last week or last series. I'm so mad. That's incredibly annoying. Like, okay, $150, okay. Literally triple the price.
300.
But literally 6 times the price? Are you fucking me?
It's crazy.
I can't. As much as, dude, it would have been so goated to be there right now. I mean, I guess I would have missed recording Run the North, but we would have rescheduled. Or not.
Yeah, we probably could have just recorded a different night.
Fuck it, I'm calling in from the game.
Hey, to be fair, we have never missed an episode despite all of our trials. So we're keeping that streak alive.
We would have been fine. I just might not have been here. Fuck, it might have been Jake all along.
Hey guys,
I could totally see myself doing
that. Welcome back to the Jake Talks Sports podcast, the Run the North podcast.
Oh man!
But yeah, the big thing the Falcons did was re-signing Caleb McGarry.
Yes.
That's their biggest signing, other than maybe Jesse Bates.
I was going to say Jesse Bates is
outside of the team free agency signing. But Caleb McGarry is pretty good. A lot of people are saying overpay. I don't know if I can make that kind of evaluation on it yet. It depends on how he plays.
People say overpay about every offensive lineman signing in the history of all time.
Yeah, but if you have a good offensive lineman, just lock him down. Like that's like he's a solid cornerstone core piece of your offensive line.
No.
Lock him down, pay him what he wants. Oh!
Austin Reeves with the horrible pass.
Are they gonna foul? Oh, Reeves is fouling
so slow.
On Jokic.
Dude, that was the worst pass I've ever seen.
Terrible use of the clock too.
Why nobody fouled? LeBron tried to get it back, but it just did not work at all. That was not ideal.
Oh, LeBron got stripped by Jokic? That's awesome.
No, actually, technically, that was Jamal Murray who knocked it out. It just went to Jokic. Murray knocked it from behind. Ball don't lie, though.
Guess not.
We are so distracted, but it's okay. No, we needed that because LeBron can go hit a 3. He's going to hit a fuck you 3 as he does. You know, that one where he just looks at his hand and then immediately pulls it and never misses. I don't think he's ever missed after doing. And I don't get it.
See, this is the problem with basketball games and trying to
the timeouts
watch
at the
them
end
live on a podcast is how long it takes for 20 seconds to go by.
Yeah. This entire time we've been talking, the clock has been at less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, Denver won't be using another timeout. The Lakers are out, so we should see the end of this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caleb McGarry, good signing. Good job getting your offensive lineman locked down. And then we mentioned his name quickly, but Jesse Bates. That was their biggest outside of the team free agent signing. Bates is a good, very, very good safety. I mean, he's been in like top 5, top 10 conversations for most of his career. And they signed him to a pretty team-friendly deal. 4-year deal worth $64 million. You can say overpay. But again, you want a guy to come to you and play for you. You offer him what he wants for money, and this is clearly what he wanted. They gave him a good deal for him and for the team.
Yeah. And
Bates is really good, and they had nobody at safety and just about nobody in their secondary, and so they traded for Okuda and drafted some guys. But in reality, really good signing. Love it.
Absolutely.
Upgraded heavily. I don't even know who the safety was before him. But yeah.
I almost said Keanu Neal, which isn't right. No, I know it's spelled Keanu, but he definitely used to yell about people needed to call him Canoe for whatever reason. I remember that being a thing. He might have changed it again because he realized that was really dumb, but I don't know.
Sure.
So before they had Richie Grant, he was playing, and then I don't know if they lost one of their safeties, but the other guys on the depth chart, at least right now, were Jalen Hawkins and Micah Abernathy. I scrolled away from the game. I don't know how it ended. Who took the final shot?
LeBron, and he almost airballed the 3.
That's tough.
He barely got a piece of the rim. But Denver's up 1-0. Sweep incoming.
Okay.
Click off the game. Stop being distracted now.
Dude, it's game 1 and it was in Denver. Let's chill out. What's the rule
coming.
to
Anyway,
win a series? You just got to win one in Denver. So when they win the next game, it's okay. This was just LeBron's feel 'em out game, as what happens. When's the last time the Lakers won a game one? Or LeBron, I should say, because that was always the thing in Cleveland.
Game one against the Grizzlies.
Did they?
No, I don't know.
Hold on. Now I'm curious. Hold on. But yeah, Nuggets won. Jokic is fucking incredible.
He's so good.
Dude, it's wild. Grizzlies. Oh, they did win game one. No. Yeah, they won game one against them and the Warriors.
Yeah, I was going to say, that
was definitely a thing from Cleveland that always happened. Game one was always like super close, but they'd always lose, and it was always like, it was this feel 'em out game, and then they'd win in 5.
Right.
So,
yeah.
He wants to know what's up, and what's up is Jokic. Did you see his stat line?
He's a good basketball player.
Dude.
Yeah.
34 points, 21 boards, 14
so
assists.
Good. This dude is, I mean, look no further.
Nuts.
The triple-double is 20 plus in 2 of those categories. A triple-double
like that, and you win by 6 is kind of terrifying, especially because Jamal Murray showed up, Porter Jr. showed up, KCP showed up, and you barely got it. That's kind of terrifying. But also, if you're the Nuggets, you're just like, fuck it, let's do that again, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. Right.
So, sorry, back to it. What did the
Falcons?
Yeah, Jesse Bates was last.
Jesse Bates, they added 2 corners in Mike Hughes and Jeff Okuda. Just talking about offseason stuff. Mike Hughes, I mean, you're a Vikings guy. Mike Hughes, didn't he play for the Vikings at some point?
Yeah, a while back. He was good his rookie year and then got cut because he was.
I think Mike Hughes is a good depth piece.
Can be.
Good depth piece. Okuda, another good depth piece.
Jeff Okuda's confusing.
Slightly.
Because, he played weirdly well for the Lions last year, so it's got to be a culture thing, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But
not the worst trade forever. I mean, they only give up a 5th? I want to say, 5th.
Yeah. You're forgetting their biggest move of the offseason, or what should be their biggest move. No. Heineke the GOAT, though, will take Desmond Ritter's job by week 1.
Oh, Keith Smith?
No.
What?
Jonnu Smith.
Carter? Oh.
Because now Kyle Pitts gets to actually exist.
This is true.
So that's the biggest move. Not because Jonnu Smith is good. Well, not because he's good or bad, but because it means Kyle Pitts gets to actually play his good role now. Go be the best pass-catching tight end in football. So that's a W. That's the big move I was talking about.
Yeah. But there's a couple other names. Matt Collins, Taylor Heineke. Matt Collins is a receiver. It's receiver depth for a bad receiver room. They also signed Scotty Miller. Yes. It did.
Yeah, no. Okay. Am I on drugs? Did Desmond Ridder wear 9 last year? I thought he was wearing 4.
No. We're 4.
Okay, so Ridder switched numbers because I was like, oh, what number's Heineke going to wear now? And I clicked it and saw 4 and was confused. So who had number 9?
I don't know.
I'm so lost. But whatever. Heineke, the Heine goat, is there now. So that's a dub.
He'll be starting for them by week 4.
Maybe, because he is the best quarterback in football. So
yeah. But overall, not the worst free agent class ever.
No,
but
it's good for what they could do. They're still in kind of a weird cap spot. We forgot about somebody else, actually.
Lorenzo Carter?
Calais Campbell.
Oh, yes. Calais Campbell.
He's old, but
defensive line.
That D-line sucked.
Line.
So
he's even though he's old, he's good. He might not be good for much longer, but he's still good.
And David Onyemata, they like revamped that D-line completely. So
which is a good thing.
They added Bud Dupree in hopes that he becomes good again.
Yeah.
Like they've got some pieces now on that defense that at least are intriguing. So I kind of like that.
And I personally think they had a W draft.
Well, I mean, they did get maybe the best player in the class.
Yeah, obviously with their first pick 8, they took Geek's boy, Bijan Robinson, which is very, very good. It allows Cordell Patterson to be just a weapon, and Bijan Robinson to be their workhorse running back, and Algier is a good little 1-2 punch there. You like that. It also allows Bijan to not have to get like 30 carries a game and not get all the tread taken off his tires in year 1 like Jonathan Taylor. But Bijan Robinson's fantastic. We both know this. He's probably the most talked about draft prospect on this podcast just because of how much he got brought up.
Yeah.
You know our feelings. It's a good pick.
He's my goat.
So, yeah, great pick there. They bolstered the offensive line in the second with Matthew Bergeron, who I don't know how you ended up feeling about him. I thought he was okay. He might be a little high. I thought he was okay.
They might have taken him a little high, maybe. Wait, when did they take him? What pick? Do you know?
38.
Way too high, actually.
Yeah, 38's too high for him.
Because they're going to be playing him at left guard.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Mayfield is maybe the worst offensive lineman in the National Football League.
Yeah, he can play guard. So, yeah.
But the reason it's so horrible is Osiris Torrance was right the fuck there. Why are you taking a tackle and moving him to guard when the best lineman prospect in the class plays guard and was on the board? That part kind of bugs me. But like Bergeron's probably fine.
I like the position, maybe not the player.
Yeah, the position makes sense. The player just a little goofy at the pick. Not that Bergeron's bad, it's just compared to Osiris Torrance, that's not good process.
Yeah, right. Round 3, they picked Zach Harrison. I'm a big fan of Zach Harrison. Needed more pieces on the defensive line. He's a good edge rusher. I like it.
And that's entirely to make the Lorenzo Carter thing matter. I mean, so Lorenzo Carter, Bud Dupree, Arnold Ebiketie, and Zach Harrison are now your like full. You've just got a rotation instead of Lorenzo Carter being edge 1 and a 3-down player. It didn't work. Now you don't have any, top tier edge rushers, but you've just got a bunch of dudes. Which if you don't have a top tier guy, just getting a bunch of dudes will work. So it's a good pick. Yeah.
Fourth, they got a top 10 corner of the class of Clark Phillips. So that's a W for me, getting a top 10 corner in the fourth.
The only concern with Phillips is he was tiny, right? Is that the right guy? Yeah. No.
He's a wee bit small. Is he?
Maybe that's not. Well, no. He's 5'10", 183. He's literally the same as Devon.
Tiny.
So, he's small, but he's not tiny.
He put a similar brand of ball to Devon Witherspoon, too. So, getting a top 10 corner in the fourth is good. They needed corners badly. I mean, it's AJ Terrell. I think they lost Casey Hayward. They did lose Casey Hayward. Jason Terrell, just Okuda, and then it's Clark Phillips, I think, is the third guy there.
Fourth guy. Okuda, Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes, right.
Clark Phillips. Yeah.
But their 7th round picks are 2 guys I have never heard of, so I can't really say much about them.
Yeah, no.
And DeMarco Helms and Javon Gwynn from South Carolina. I like the positions, so that's a W. Safety and a guard, that's okay. But
they already took their guard earlier in the.
Right, but but they got a safety, so W, I guess. Alabama defensive back process, I suppose. But with all that being said, what do we think about the Falcons draft? Draft offseason.
They got Bijan. They made Kyle Pitts actually able to be a weapon.
This is true.
And they got one of the 5 best safeties in the world. If that's not an A offseason, I don't know what is.
Yeah, for reference, mine's an A-. I have my grade.
I'm giving him an A. Just an A.
Solid. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, it's good offseason. And based off of the way some of the other teams in their division went, I think they're my favorite to win the South.
They definitely could be if Desmond Ridder works out.
I'm not even worried about that because you'll know by like week 4, and Heinegoat will get you to the playoffs.
Right.
Especially with Kyle Pitts and Drake London being his guys. Look at how he used Terry McLaurin. Now you got 2 of those dudes. Just fuck it. They're over there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Terry will give him a shot. Or Taylor will give him a shot. I was thinking of Terry McLaurin again.
Yeah.
Taylor will give him a shot. He'll just chuck it. He's awesome. He's such a dumbass, but I love it. It's my favorite brand of football.
The only good brand of football, truly.
Absolutely.
And moving on to our third team, the Saints. Big free agent signing was obviously the man from Las Vegas and Derek Carr. Signed him to a deal that has an out after 2 years. So even if you think it's a little bit too much money, it's backloaded and they can get out of it in 2 years. I guess like we talked about. It's okay. I don't have strong feelings either way. It's okay. It doesn't move the needle too much for them.
So stupid. So, not because Derek Carr is a bad player, but because the Saints, I don't know how to tell you this, Saints fans, your team fucking sucks. Your roster is bad. The coaching is bad. And Derek Carr is not Patrick Mahomes. He can't save you. I love Derek Carr. Like, him to the Jets would have made a ton of sense. Him to a team that, like, matters or, like, has a real roster would have made a ton of sense. But that's not the Saints. And so, like, I get the move because you're trying to just do what the Saints do. We don't rebuild. We just stay mid.
Retool.
I guess they don't even retool. They just stay mid. That's it.
Yeah.
The only reason they weren't mid before is because Sean Payton and Drew Brees are like 2 of the greatest to ever do it at what they do. Right.
Speaking at the greatest to ever do something, the greatest goal line running back ever, Jamal Williams,
True.
Who had like a ton of touchdowns last year because of this, signed with the Saints. Good compliment to Kamara if he's not in jail. So I like it. I love Jamal Williams. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. So I think any team who would have signed him would have gotten an A+ from me. But yeah, I like it.
I mean, it's a good pickup. I know you said depending on what happens with Kamara, he's a good compliment. He's running back 1 probably.
Yeah.
Kamara's probably going to spend the beginning of the season in prison. So
or suspended, either way.
Yeah. So like I mean, it's a good signing. It's a great signing if Kamara's there. It's only good if Kamara does actually get suspended or misses a bunch of time, because then I love Jamal, but he cannot be a bell cow. He doesn't have it in him.
No.
Which is not me being an asshole. He's just not that guy, which is okay. He doesn't need to be. But it's a good signing either way.
Yeah. They re-signed Juwan Johnson, one of their tight ends.
Cool.
Okay. I don't really know much
Foster
about Juwan
Moreau,
Johnson.
if he's healthy, is better. But I hope he gets healthy. But
different health stuff going on, but
not a bunch, just cancer. So prayers up to that dude.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's awesome from the Saints, though, that they actually signed him after they discovered that was like, so it was during his physical where they found the cancer. So they signed him after that, which is that's good shit. As much as I hate the Saints, that's good shit.
It is. But Juwan Johnson, okay, like fine.
Yeah.
They added their secondary with Jonathan Abram and Isaac Yiadom. Another couple of guys who don't really move me too much. Abram was a first-round pick who's just been bounced around into oblivion. By the Raiders, they did their little Raiders thing and drafted a guy like that in the first round.
Well, so we've got the New Orleans Raiders here, is what I'm learning.
Yeah, essentially.
Because
Brian Edwards played for them, Derek Carr played for them,
Jonathan Abram, Foster Moreau.
Moreau played for them.
Is that it, or is there more? There might be more.
I don't know anymore.
We're gonna say that's it, but there might be more. You never know.
Other than that, they didn't really do much, many big things or many notable signings. So looking at their draft class, first round they took a guy that neither of us were too high on, Brian Bresee. But we all had him mocked there because we knew they were going to do it.
Yep. Because they needed a big body, and
it was him or Miles Murphy, whoever was there.
Well, and they needed interiors, so it really came down to Brian Bresee or like Siaki Ika. And as much as I love Ika,
if he was there,
yeah. But like, as much as I love like Siaki or some of those later round people, you couldn't take them in the first. At least with Bresee, there's a world where he's incredible. Like, if you develop him well, he could be the guy. So, like, I get you take a flyer there because you just need bodies. Right now, Kalen Saunders and Nathan Shepard are their defensive tackles. Like, you just needed that body. Bresee, love him or hate him, is an upgrade over those two players.
He's a body.
So that's a good pick.
Yes, it's a good pick. They continued to add to the defensive line in the second with Isaiah Foskey, who borderline top 10 edge in the class. Yeah. I think pick 40 is a little bit too high.
Well, that and just there were still other better guys on the board.
There were. I don't have those exact figures pulled up.
No, I don't either. Other than
I'm almost positive there were.
Who's the guy we were all big on that fell to like the sixth?
Thank
you. Could not remember his name to save my life. I'm like, that's about all I could remember.
I think he ended up on the third or fourth, and we had him mocked in the first.
Yeah,
but yeah, they could have taken him. So the position, it's another situation where like position, I get it. They need an edge. They lost Marcus Davenport, but player,
meh. Yeah, meh.
And then this one, unless you see something that they were cooking with Kendre Miller, I don't know. In the third, this is crazy. I don't know what they were thinking, especially after they signed Jamal Williams and got a running back already.
Yeah, and
like they must have seen something on his tape. But 71's way too high for him.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, it's just way too high for him, and I don't know. With the fact that Jamal is probably going to be your one, you need a guy who can complement him, and I don't know if Kendre is that.
Not too well.
You needed this is the spot where Eric Gray, one of the little quicker guys who can also be in the pass game and do other things, this is where they make sense. You don't get another almost bruisery type back that can't. Like, I don't know. I don't get having two of the same guys unless it's two Alvin Kamaras because, like, they can do incredible things.
Right. Yeah.
So, I'm not. It's bad process.
Yeah. They added their offensive line with Nick Saldivari, tackle Dominion. Okay. It's okay. That's it.
Yeah, I don't, dude. Their O-line's confusing because like it should be so good, but it's just not.
We have no idea what Trevor Penning is.
Awful.
Probably awful.
We know.
Yeah.
We saw enough. I saw him play one rep. That was enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so out on Penning, man.
Yeah, I'd never ran on him. But Saldivari was okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's meh.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It is truly whatever. They got the best quarterback in the draft. Oh, Jake Haener in the fourth.
Stop.
They got Jake Haener.
You're gonna summon Rico Nose, and that'll be a problem.
I don't care about Jake Haener to the Saints. Like,
dude,
okay.
QB4, like, whatever.
Yeah, he's like not gonna start for them ever, unless they have a situation where Ian Book was starting again. You know, that whole whatever happened there.
Yeah.
Jordan Howden, Minnesota guy. Don't know if you know anything about him, because I really don't.
Actually, I don't. I know nothing about Mr. Howden. That was not one of the Minnesota guys I cared about this year.
Sorry, Jordan, if you're listening to this. Yeah, I know you are.
No offense.
I know you are.
We don't hate. We just... I didn't get to watch that many guys not as many as I would have liked. I think I made it through 110. So... Yeah, I just didn't get what I wanted.
This one, though. A.T. Perry in the 6th. Love it.
Oh, yeah, that's good value.
Good value. He's a decent blocker. He's very solid. And getting him in the 6th, good value. Solid wide receiver. All they really have is Olave and an old, broken Michael Thomas, an old Jarvis Landry, Marcus Callaway. That's the receiving room right now. So ATP might even get some serious reps.
Do they have Jarvis Landry?
Maybe not even. I don't know.
Looking at their depth chart, Rashid Shaheed is wide receiver.
Okay, so 3. They definitely needed to draft the receiver.
Where is Jarvis?
Probably still a free agent, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he is a free agent. Go back to Miami. They need a slot guy.
Belong. Yeah.
No. But I think, I like Brian Edwards a lot, but he's also had opportunity after opportunity, and just...
That's true. If he would have stuck somewhere, if he was really that guy.
Especially Atlanta.
The Falcons, who have a terrible receiver core, were just like, yeah, you can walk. Like, I don't know, unless he was demanding, like, huge money, which I doubt. But yeah, the Saints... I think this was pretty mid. I'm giving them a C, personally.
Yeah, I think it's a C.
Very mid.
They didn't improve much, and they weren't that good to begin with, and I don't see the vision. Especially just every one of their other players that exist on this team. Cam Jordan's getting old. Demario Davis is getting old. Tyrann Mathieu old. If they come out and regress even a step from last year, this is the second worst team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that simple. And I don't know, relying on 3 33-plus-year-olds to not regress is a big ask.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
So I don't see the vision for the Saints. So yeah, I think a C minus is that.
Yeah. So right now that ranks them 3rd. Will they be last? Let's find out with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. First thing that they got listed, obviously, is signing Baker Mayfield to be, I'm assuming, their starting quarterback for this season, or at least some of it.
Full season. Baker, the best quarterback in the South.
Baker
played right now, we don't know what
fair share of good games for the Rams last year, and definitely earned this signing. And this is good. I mean, Baker is technically a veteran. You know, he's technically a veteran of the NFL. He's been to the playoffs, and so if you really believe you have something in Kyle Trask, I truly do, Baker Mayfield's a good guy to bridge him into it, or bridge into whatever guy you end up drafting next year if you suck.
Or if Baker plays really well, he's young enough that here's your QB.
Probably pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
so he's only getting paid $4 million.
Oh yeah, that's every day of the week.
It's really a win-win. Yeah.
Any team in the NFL would give him that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Any team needs a guy like him would. Yeah, Baker Mayfield good signing.
Yeah. Dub.
Signed Chase Edmonds, which with losing Fournette is okay, but Edmonds is just Rachaad White 2.
Yeah.
Like a receiving threat, good runner, speedy. Like, so I don't know.
They needed Jamal. That's what they needed.
They did need Jamal. That actually would have been a sick signing for them. Or they needed Zeke.
I mean, that could still happen, but
yeah, it could still happen.
I don't see why Zeke would do that.
Right. Edmonds is okay.
Yeah.
This is an okay signing. Their big thing was really re-signing their guys. So they re-signed Levante David and Jamel Dean. Those are the two big ones. Levante David's getting up there in age. That's about it, though. I mean, he's been okay. Like, he's been good for them.
He's been really good. He is getting old.
Defense. He's only getting paid $7 million, so
that's a big dub.
Jamel Dean's getting paid a 4-year, $52 million deal. They must really like him, obviously. I don't have too strong feelings on Jamel Dean, but they need to lock down a corner badly. So
yeah, I mean,
good signing there. Other than that, they really didn't do too much. They signed Greg Gaines, defensive tackle from the Rams, who actually played a decent bit of football for them. So,
yeah, but he's gonna be. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm not that tired, but I've started yawning, so now I can't stop. But he's just gonna be a depth guy. He's not gonna start ever,
right?
Because Vita Vea does the exist here. So
does the exist? Yes. But yeah, that's really it for their free agent signings. Look at their draft class. At 19th overall, they took Kalijah Cansey. I was a big fan of.
That's a great move.
And great move because he can play edge if you really want to kick him outside. You wanted an extra pass rusher on the edge. He can play inside.
3-4. I say keep him inside with Vea. That's so good.
With Vea, that'd be sick. And Kansey's very, very good. I like him a lot. I'm surprised he fell as far as 19. Yeah. But he definitely was the right pick there. Position of need, second best player at that position in the class on the interior defensive line, unless you want to say Mozzie was better at the interior defensive line. But I'm taking Kansey personally. That was where he was in my rankings, just behind Carter.
And I think second best player on the board at that pick. I think if I'm recalling correctly, because maybe third, depending on where you put Brian Branch, but the Bucks aren't the team to take Branch. So Nolan Smith and Brian Branch are the other two guys, and I don't know if you take Nolan because you got Shaq Barrett, you got Tryon, Joe. They got Joe.
They do got Joe.
That's my brain. Words are hard.
They are. They definitely needed a guard, and they got a guard in Cody Mock.
Again,
good.
What overall though? I'm trying to remember.
48. They could have had Torrance.
Osiris, man. I don't know what Osiris Torrance did.
I'm gonna have to look further into that after tomorrow or something. Like, I have no idea what Osiris Torrance did to deserve this, but teams were just passing on him left and right. And this is another team that would have made perfect sense if they'd taken him. And he just had the best right side of the offensive line in the league, probably, and we don't know. But Cody Mock's a good pick there. Third round, they took Yaya Diaby. Good. Outside linebacker. I liked him. I think you liked him.
Yep.
So, yeah, good pick there. Servosh Dennis. Miller was super high on him. I don't remember much about his film.
I don't either.
It stood out to me. Fifth round interior linebacker with Levante David being old and a guy who probably should have gone earlier.
I mean,
W.
Is it though?
I think so.
Is it though?
I think so.
The second best linebacker in the class was still there, so I think it's an L pick.
Sure about that?
Yes, I and everyone else in the world am sure about that.
And now he's a Viking. The narratives work perfectly.
Dude, the fact I saw somebody try to call me out for that the other day, though, and I was like, that doesn't. No, somebody else. No, somebody else tried to call me out for that. You only like him because he's a Viking now. It's like, no, this has been the narrative for 3 months.
If you listen to Run the North, you'd know he would not shut up about Ivan Pace.
Ivan Pace has been my guy. the whole time. I loved Ivan Pace for good reason. I don't know. I loved watching the little guy chuck 300-pound linemen around. It was incredible.
Watch, yeah.
Oh, I love it. But yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's probably a fine pick. It's just Ivan Pace existed, so it's an L pick, unfortunately.
Sure. They addressed the tight end with Payne Durham in the 5th.
I mean, Cade Otton already existed, and O'Keefe, as much as he is a fullback, they don't use one, so he also existed. So Payne Durham is whatever to me for them. Like, it's not a bad pick, but it didn't matter. They didn't need to make that pick.
Yeah, Josh Hayes, Trey Palmer, and Jose Ramirez are all like depth picks, good depth picks. Trey Palmer was just a speedy guy in the class.
Trey Palmer will make the roster, but other than that, I don't know if anybody else will.
Josh Hayes might not. Jose Ramirez probably won't. They got a lot of outside linebackers, especially drafting Diaby literally like 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Jose could maybe steal Anthony Nelson's job. It's entirely possible.
True. He could do that. That's actually a good point.
But he's gonna have to play his ass off.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So now to kind of round out our NFC South talk, what do you think the Bucks deserve for this offseason in general so far?
I mean, probably I'm gonna give them a B. I mean, if we're comparing them to the Saints, which is what I'm looking at here, because these are the 2 worst off seasons in the South. I think that's pretty clear. I'm gonna actually have to give them a B-. It's the rule, because I gave the Panthers a B. So do I want to might move them down to a C+ just to move a full letter grade.
That's what I'm giving.
My brain's bouncing. But like comparing them to the Saints, they did a better job at quarterback. Not that Baker's a better player, but they aren't paying him, so it doesn't kill their team for the future. And like, yeah, they have an out on his contract, except he's still going to count on the books until basically 2097, because they'll just keep pushing it down the fucking line, because that's what the Saints do. So the Baker move is better for them. I think their draft was a little better. Kalijah Cansey is great. Yaya Diaby's really good. Trey Palmer's a cool piece for them. Just speed like that's just fun to have. Being able to keep Jamel Dean was big. I mean, it was good off season, but I don't know. They need so much work, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there were some other things they could have done a little better, to really push them over the top. But I definitely think it's a better off season than the Saints. That's what I'm going to say for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go C+ as well. Yeah. So I think that leaves our rankings between me and Geek at Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks.
No, Bucks Saints. Yeah, Bucks Saints.
So that is our NFC North off-season rankings.
South.
We're going to be getting into the South, whatever. My brain don't work no more.
Mine neither.
But that is our NFC South off-season rankings. We're coming at you with the West next time, probably once Miller gets his butt back here. But I believe that is all we have for you guys. Yes? All right. So we want to thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Run the North podcast. Be sure to follow us on all platforms at Run the North Pod everywhere, and go ahead and click that link tree in the description. Go check us out. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the places. Hopefully we'll have our full trio back next week, but we appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing us. You guys are goats. You guys are legends. All that great stuff. That's all we got for you. We will see you next time.
Bye.